Hi, I'm Clinton.
I'm Claude, and we're the Lamest Defenders. So for this week's We Got Issues episode, Clinton is reviewing a Doctor Doom comic. It's his return to greatness, basically.
Yeah.
It starts number
About
one.
time.
Yeah. And then I, of course, am doing Amazing Spider-Man comic that ties into Absolute Carnage. So let's get started. Welcome back, guys. So for this week's We Got Issues, I'm reviewing Amazing Spider-Man issue number 31. So it takes place during the events of Absolute Carnage number 3. So if you're not familiar or if you haven't read Absolute Carnage, the comic event, probably steer clear of this one if you're looking to get it, because it has some pretty big spoilers from that comic event.
And check our reviews on that comic
Yeah.
while you're at it.
And it's pretty, no pun intended, it's pretty amazing. That event's awesome. So as I said, it just opens up during the events of Absolute Carnage, and it shows Spider-Man trying to protect Dylan Brock, along with Norman Osborn, from it's Norman Osborn, who thinks he's Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage. So he has a symbiote on him. He's crazy, okay?
Okay.
And all that I kind of explained in the last video. It's just I guess the after effects of the big event where he was Red Carnage, and that was during Dan Slott's final couple issues. But anyway, so it's just Spider-Man just getting his butt kicked for a lot of these panels, and it flashes back on the history of Peter Parker and Norman Osborn, which, I mean, most people already know. But what's interesting is it shows a lot of Harry Osborn, and one of my nitpicks with the last issue was you have this new villain, Kindred, that they've been teasing for 31 issues, and he is sitting in front of Norman Osborn's cell at a mental institute, and he's just teasing him for all these panels. But finally, I think we have some answers on who this Kindred person is, who his identity really, and to me, it's just so in your face. Like, it's just so. They basically just tell you straight up. I'm hoping there's a twist where it's not who you expect it to be. But it's basically Kindred is, when we meet again, Norman, we're going to be one big happy family. So it shows a lot of Harry Osborn, connect the dots.
Sounds like it.
So I'm hoping it's not, because, it's just Harry Osborn. He's already been a villain in the past, taking on the Green Goblin mantle. But I mean, this issue, it does answer, I guess, a few questions that they've been teasing for such a long time. So it is a better issue. And the art by Ryan Otley, I've had some issues with his style before. I mean, it's just not my cup of tea. But when he draws Carnage fighting Spider-Man, it looks really cool. And it's super clean. And it's just different because I'm so used to, the Absolute Carnage event where it's really dark. But this one's just a little bit brighter and easier to see.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to, honestly, the next Amazing Spider-Man comic, because I'm hoping that they continue the Kindred thing like right after this one.
Okay.
So
you don't want to wait another 31 issues to figure out what's going on?
Yeah, I don't want to be on issue 62 and figure out that it's like Norman Osborn's cat or something. So yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're reading Amazing Spider-Man, like, pick this up, and obviously, you need to read Absolute Carnage. It's so good.
Yeah. So Doctor Doom came out with a new series this Wednesday, and Doctor Doom might be my favorite Marvel villain. He's just iconic. His name is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Doctor Doom. You know what you're getting with this guy.
Yeah. Lots of doom.
I love it. But the new series starts off with basically humanity has figured out how to reduce carbon emissions. They're using
Teslas.
Yeah, they're using Richards Tech and Stark Tech.
Okay.
And they're going to reduce carbon emissions by 35% in the first year. But the problem with this is that it has a...
It's owned by all the VPs of Volkswagen or something. It's Dr. Doom. He's the CEO.
But it emits 30 times toxic as radiation, as nuclear runoff. So it's kind of like robbing Peter to pay Paul, I guess, kind of thing. So basically they created what is called Antlion Station on the moon. And what it does is it creates a stable, perfectly controlled black hole waste depository. They're creating a black hole on the moon that's less than 240,000 miles from Earth.
He knew that off the top of the head.
That's a brilliant idea. Yeah, that's great. So
yeah, I kind of. It's just, why wouldn't they do it in the negative zone?
Yeah, you made that point. I thought that was a great point. Like, why wouldn't they do that? So I don't know. So basically, Doom is on this news broadcast, and they're interviewing him for some reason. They're basically interviewed him to make fun of him, which is kind of funny.
I get them quotes.
Yeah, they just interviewed him, like, he's like, "This is a bad idea. Like, you are going to regret this. This is not good." And so the reporters just keep cutting him off, and then he's like, "All right, I'm out." So and then one of the news reporters says, like, "That was Dr. Doom, once beaten by Squirrel Girl." Just like,
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was just like, okay. So shortly after that, Kang the Conqueror shows up, and Kang doesn't even know where he's at. He's like, what timeline am I in? Where am I? And
he should be in a nursing home, it sounds like.
So Doom tells him about, like, they just created a black hole on the moon, and Kang goes, "Antlion." It's like, "Oh, so you know about it?" It's like, "Yeah." It's like, "Does it succeed?" He goes, "Depend on which timeline I'm in." So I was like, "Yeah, great." So we're doing this again. So
here we go again.
Yeah, right? So shortly after the black hole's created, and then Kang shows up, Doom starts having these really weird visions. He'll open a door to his washroom or something like that, and he'll open it, and then all of a sudden he's looking at himself without scars, and he has a wife and kids, and they're playing, and he's helping Latveria. He's helping the world, really. He's not a bad guy at all. And he keeps having these visions throughout the first issue, and then all of a sudden he's snapped out of it by missiles launching out of Latveria, and they go towards the moon, and they blow up the station, and all of a sudden he's like, so his top commander's like, like, "Master, we've got, like, UN and the U.S. is just like, they're coming for us," and he just goes full surrender. Unconditional, we're done. Like, I'm out. Like, we're not doing this.
Who launched the missiles then?
We don't know.
It was an intern.
Yeah.
Chad!
Yeah. He's so fired.
Yeah.
But, and then, so he's just waiting on top of, I guess, Doom Tower. I guess he's original.
Yeah.
And he's waiting for just to be arrested and just hauled off. And Captain Britain shows up, and they're trying to arrest him, and he's like, I'm stop fighting me, like, I'm surrendering, like, you got it, I'm here, take me away. And then that's where the issue ends, with a bunch of NATO helicopters, like, kind of swarming in on him. So it was definitely a cliffhanger. I feel like the whole Antlion was a big kind of MacGuffin, just to get him to. There's nothing else he couldn't have done. Like, I feel that was so ridiculous that kind of took me out of it for the first few pages, but it redeemed itself throughout the whole issue. I really like this. Like,
he's such a cool character.
He's such a he's a great character. Yeah. So I'm excited to have a Doom series again. I'm anxious to see where it goes. Honestly, like, I can't wait for the next one.
Well, that's all of our comic reviews for this week. If you guys haven't watched it already, we actually did a video on. It's a spoiler review for Powers of X #6, which Clint really likes. So
I did.
Yeah.
So, and also, please be sure to check out our page on Facebook and Twitter, the Lamest Defenders. And please give us a like. We'd appreciate it.
Definitely. So, yeah, guys, just remember to stay lame. That's all we have for today.